Today we're diving into the fire, literally, as we build a full lava and volcanic terrain board using simple techniques and easy to find materials. We will learn how to create realistic lava flows, glowing magma effects and volcanic rock formations. To complete the scene, we will be using an incredible double-sided game mat sent to me by TTRPG Studio. A stunning lava design that ties everything together. It's one of the coolest mats I've ever worked with. So grab your foam and paint brushes and let's turn up the heat!
Welcome back to HANDCRAFTED. Today we're diving into the fiery depths of the underworld with some lava and volcano terrain. And I'm super excited about this one because I'm doing it in collaboration with the amazing folks at TTRPG Studio. They sent me one of their double-sided high-quality gaming mats, and one of the sides is this incredible lava field. It immediately sparked the idea to create volcanic scatter terrain, flowing magma effects, and all the elements you will need for a full battlefield straight from the heart of a volcano. We will go step by step through all the builds, share tips for texture and color, and put it all together into an epic volcanic board that's compatible with all my other modular systems. So, let's get into it!
Alright, for today's project I'm using 8 cm thick foam. These are the same sheets I used for my dungeon walls and as risers in my recent dungeon and city showcase videos. I'm going to roughly mark out different pieces size with a pen. As always, we put on a mask before working with the hot wire cutter or any tool that melts the foam. Then we cut without worrying too much about following the line precisely. Now I'm going to adjust the wire at an angle to cut cone-like shapes. As you can see, it's pretty straightforward. We will repeat this process with about 3 different sizes, large, medium and small. It's all very rough, but it will add variety to the pieces, and later we can mix and match them. Alright, let's continue creating height variations. I've placed the hot wire cutter perpendicular to the cutting table again, and I'm going to slice some of the pieces into discs. It's important to cut the bases of some of the larger pieces because this will be the lava pools. Once everything was cut, I arranged the pieces in a way that felt organic to me, and then labeled each group with a letter using a marker, so I could remember the layout in case I separate them later. To smooth out the textures, I gently passed a flame over all the surfaces. Don't keep it in one spot for too long or the foam will melt. And if you can, use a kitchen torch instead of a regular lighter like me, which makes it easy to burn yourself. Now we're going to use toothpicks to connect the foam pieces together and glue everything firmly with hot glue. Be generous, don't be afraid to go all in. If there are any gaps, you can use leftover pieces of foam to fill them in. Then go over the underside with a bit more hot glue and you are done. Alright, to finish shaping things, I want to hollow out the top of each piece. For that, we will go back using the lighter. This time, keeping it over one spot a bit longer, but still not too close. Great, I will be doing this to all the pieces while watching some video game content, which is usually what I do when I'm deep into crafting. Now I'm going to use a wood burning tool set to the lowest temperature. Little by little, I will start carving out the paths where the lava will flow. Try to make the shapes look organic, wider at the beginning and narrowing as they split off. Be patient here, because this step is really important to get a good final result. Finally, you can go over everything with a stiff, coarse brush to get rid of any formed threads that may have been created during the process. Alright, now it's time to use dirt, but this time I run out, so since I had to go collect more from the mountains, I will show you how I prep it. Spread it all out on a baking tray. Preheat the oven to 200 Celsius degrees and leave it in there for 1 or 2 hours to make sure any microorganism or bacteria are killed. Then it's time to sift it using a strainer and a large bowl. If possible, do this in a well-ventilated area. Unfortunately, I don't have a garden or balcony, so I did it in the kitchen, but the dust gets everywhere and I have to deep clean afterward. Now we store it and it's ready to go. Next, we're going to cover the pieces with PVA glue, spreading it evenly with a brush. Leave the tops and the cracks glue-free. Then I sprinkled some coarse sand I collected from the beach, followed by the fine dirt we just prepped to cover everything completely. Repeat this process for all the pieces and let them dry for several hours, ideally overnight. Alright, we're not done with the construction phase yet, but I want to do a first layer of priming now to seal in all the sand. As always, I'm using black acrylic paint mixed with PVA glue. Let it dry and then we move on to one of the most fun parts of this project, making the lava with hot glue. I started by applying glue in swirls on the tops of the cones, and then we will create lava streams flowing down through the cracks. At the end of the cracks, make sure that the glue extends out and continue onto the surface. This simulates that the rock hasn't fully melted yet in those parts and adds a sense of dimensionality that will look amazing on the game table once painted. We are going to keep going with this, putting a lot of emphasis on the swirly texture, especially in the lava pools. This isn't strictly necessary, but in my opinion it adds a dramatic and interesting touch to the pieces and gives us a great texture to work with during the painting phase. When we are done, we will need to gently pass a flame over the glue to remove all the glue threads. Do this patiently, so none are left, and be careful not to burn the pieces, or your hands.
Before we paint, don't forget to like, subscribe, and drop a comment with what you will use this terrain for. A demon invasion, a fire elemental ambush maybe? And of course, a huge thank you to all my Patreon supporters. If you want behind the scenes content, early access and exclusive templates, be sure to join the community. Also come and say hi in the Discord server. We're always sharing builds, ideas and tips.
Alright, now all that's left is painting. First of all, we're going to reprime everything to fully cover the glue we applied to give the rest of the pieces second coat. Next, we will go in with grey, but unlike when we usually paint stone, this time it will be a light dry brush, just enough to make the textures pop. We will apply this coat across the entire piece, lava included, so it will be easier to identify which areas to paint later on. And now, the lava. First, we're going to paint everything with pure white. Why if lava isn't white? It's very simple. Red, orange and yellow pigments don't cover dark surfaces well and tend to be very transparent. A white base coat will make the colors pop much more, giving us brighter and more vibrant results with fewer layers. Once that's dry, we will start by applying yellow in the center of all the lava pools and mini volcanoes. Next, we will apply red to all the lava streams and the edges of the pools. At this point, it might look like a mustard and ketchup volcano, but you will see how we will turn this into something great, like the test piece I'm showing you right now. We will put some red and yellow on a paint palette and use the same brush to pick up and mix paint in different proportions directly onto the piece. This technique is called wet blending, and we will use it to create gradients. From deep red on the outer edges to yellow in the center. Little by little we will repeat this across all the pieces until we get a smooth, uniform transition. Now we will do a similar thing with the fine brush on the lava streams, trying to keep yellow in the center and fade out toward reds on the sides. This part takes some patience, but it's totally worth it. You can throw out some music or my City Terrain playlist while you work. There are plenty of videos there to keep you entertained. I had my doubts during the project about the lava textures or how it will turn out, but I'm super happy with the result.
Before we get into setting the layout, let's check out the mat that inspired it all. This stunning double-sided piece from DeepCap Studio features detailed texture, rich colors, and it's perfect for both fantasy and sci-fi setups. Let's unbox it and take a closer look.
The folks from DeepCap Studio sent me a double-sided mat to try out, and one of the sides is a perfect match for the terrain we're building in this video. As you can see, it comes with its own case and it's very well packaged. Mine is 19 by 90 centimeters, but on their website they have a ton of sizes and options available. I will leave the link in the video description. The material is the same as that of the gaming mouse pads, and the print quality and level of detail are just amazing. On the other side, I requested an icy surface for something I'm planning for one of the upcoming videos, but I will show you that properly when the time comes. I don't want to spoil the surprise. Let's start placing the elements we've created across the mat, and with that, we've got a complete board ready to play your favorite TTRPG or wargame. I'm really happy with how the mat and pieces combine, and excited to have the chance to run games in a setting that is very different from the usual. Now, all that's left is to take some good photos of everything, and do the final show off so you can see how it all looks together.
And that's our volcanic battlefield complete. I'm really happy with how it turned out, especially how it combines seamlessly with other builds from the channel. If you want some extra stuff, check out my itch.io page for free adventures and hand-drawn maps. And don't forget to join my Discord server to share your own creations or ask any questions. If you're new to the channel, make sure to check out these other videos, my magnetic dungeon system or the city terrain builds. I will link them right here. Thanks again to DeepCat Studio for the awesome mat and to all of you for watching. So, keep crafting and I will see you in the next one.